Okay, so hello. Hi everybody. Can people at the back hear me as well? Yes? Great. I was supposed to have a microphone, I unfortunately don't, so I'll be screaming at you guys and then you'll have a much lower volume. But I've prepared a short lecture for you today and it's gonna be fun, hopefully, and educational. So, yeah, maybe just let's get into it. This is the expropriation of Ron Weasley, and it's something we're going to be attempting to do today. And it's going to take some time, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Something we're going to be talking a lot about, yes, something we're going to be talking a lot about is pop cultural narratives, and how pop cultural narratives move around, and why they're interesting. But firstly, maybe we need to make like a baseline to talk. Is this volume actually also okay? Yes, okay, because then I won't be screaming. Great. Okay, so we need to talk about why pop cultural narratives are so interesting and how they move around. So, firstly, a quick caveat, and we're going to be dealing a lot with Ron Weasley. And Ron Weasley is from the franchise Harry Potter. And Harry Potter is made by J.K. Rowling, or Joe, if you don't know. And I think J.K. Rowling fucking sucks. I think she's a despicable person. And if you don't, you should go read her internet history for the past 3 years. And I refuse to educate you further on the subject. So don't worry, we'll shit on J.K. Rowling lots and tons today. But let's get on with it. So, pop cultural narratives. Pop culture is kind of elusive terminology and a kind of weird thing. So let's try to define it so we have something to talk around. And firstly, there's the first definition, which is popular culture. And you know when something is popular, but let's perhaps do an example to close it in a tiny bit more. So let's take one of perhaps the most successful television shows in human history, Game of Thrones. And if you don't know Game of Thrones, it was a bunch of guys with swords and they were killing each other all over, and there were dragons, sort of a high fantasy sort of situation. But Game of Thrones had 7, in a lot of people's opinion, really good seasons of television. People loved it. They were selling merchandise about it, they were talking about it, they were anticipating the next episode, they were talking amongst themselves about it, and they were producing fan art about it, drawing little drawings in their homes, writing little stories, and it was humongously popular. But then season 8 came around, and in a lot of people's opinion, season 8 was really bad. It was actually so shit that overnight, like with a spell, the Game of Thrones popularity that seemed so immovable before had completely disappeared from the face of the earth. So this is a good example to how popular is elusive and how it works. But we're actually not going to be dealing that much with that particular definition today. We're going to be dealing with a secondary definition of pop culture, and it is the people's culture. One I find more interesting, and it is pop culture as people's culture, as in made for the people and made by the people. And this is an even more elusive terminology, because who gets to say who's the people? More importantly, who gets to say who's not the people? And how does this collective mass of individuals author things collectively? These are some of the questions we're going to be spending a lot of time with today. So without further ado, let's get started. So, to get really started in talking about pop cultural narratives and why they are so interesting, we should perhaps get started with one of pop cultural narratives' close cousins in mythical narratives, as you know them. And in mythical narratives, also guys with swords really often, there is this thing called oral history and verbal tradition. And in oral history and verbal tradition, this is not an elusive term. It meant that when this story needed to get retold, people met up and they told it to each other, face to face, having a conversation. All fine and dandy, really cool. But what starts to happen when people get together, and is that they need to be geographically in the same place, and they need to be good storytellers for people to be actually want to listen to them for an extended amount of time. But what also happens is that if you've ever played the whisper game, you know where I'm going with this. But the whisper game essentially is when you sit in a circle and you whisper something in the person next to you's ear, and then they have to replicate that sentence in the person next to them, their ear. What usually happens in the whisper game is that this sentence will get distorted the more people it ventures through. And a very similar thing happened really, really often with mythical narratives in verbal tradition and oral history. What started happening is that it would branch out sort of, and it would get so at one point it would get unrecognizable to the thing it started as. But even more importantly, what happened is that when people wanted to tell these stories, they would perhaps forget a little bit of the story, or they would think that a part of the story was more important than another one, or they would quite simply just like a part of the story more than the other. And that meant that this story kept changing, and it kept getting inaccurate, but it also kept reflecting more and more people's feelings, viewpoints, and place of origin. Which is a really cool thing, because this is collective authorship. This is also something we're going to be talking about a lot today, and collective authorship is cool because, yeah, it reflects a lot of people's viewpoints. Super cool. But because we are dealing with pop cultural narratives and not mythical narratives, we are a lot on the internet, in cyberspace. And in cyberspace, everything moves really, really fast. And therefore, we don't have verbal tradition, we have hyperverbal tradition. And in hyperverbal tradition, things move an incredible amount faster than they do in regular old, fine and good verbal tradition. So, hyperverbal tradition, which is something I call it, basically consists of three main things. And the first one is the sheer availability, and that means that the bar for participation in hyperverbal tradition is even lower. You don't need to be a good storyteller, you don't need to be geographically in the same place. You could be anonymous if that's a thing you want. And more importantly, you don't need to have as much emotional capacity to be able to tell this story, because in hyperverbal tradition, taking part in co-authoring doesn't have to be you telling the entire story. It can be you leaving a YouTube comment and disagreeing with some other person that has a cool internet handle, and you're perhaps watching a video essay, and in that video essay you disagree with the person and you leave a little comment, and all of a sudden you're a part of a conversation. Very, very cool. The second part of hyperverbal tradition is that computers love to copy stuff, and they are really good at it. And what this means is that the bar of participation will get even lower. Because beforehand, when you needed to tell an entire story, you needed to tell the entire story, and you will forget stuff. But what can happen here is that all you need to do is press Ctrl-C, and then Ctrl-V, or you need to copy the stuff on your computer, and all of a sudden, if it's in text, you have the entirety of the story, or if it's an image, you just have to download it. So this is also really, really cool, and these two things result in super iterative producing. And perhaps you remember that branching out. Actually, I need a sip, I'm sorry. I'm getting a dry mouth. There we go. This will result in super iterative producing. And super iterative producing is the superloading of this branching out that would have happened before in mythical narratives with good old verbal tradition and oral history. And perhaps let's go back to the YouTube example, actually. Let's say the YouTube video you commented on was a person that was discussing the different symbolical implications of the different shades of orange in the Weasley family's hair. And you're like, no, that's actually untrue. I prefer my Weasley hair slightly redder. And then another person would comment on your comment and they would say, no, actually, I prefer it slightly more orange. And then the person that originally did the video essay will make a new video essay and actually, no, I disagree with you both. If you read J.K. Rowling's original something, it should be blue. And now you're collectively authoring and part of a conversation, but this can be even cooler. Because if you go to a fan art forum, for example, and you see a piece of fan art, perhaps of Ron Weasley, and he has, in your opinion, a slightly wrong shade of red hair, or his wand looks not correct in your opinion, but you're really bad at drawing, and this is something that works to a detriment when you're trying to co-author. So what you do is you Control C, Control V. All of a sudden, it's your drawing, and you draw a crude little representation, and then you upload it to the fan art forum again, and then perhaps the original artist will say, yeah, actually, I also prefer this one, or this shade of orange hair. And now you're not only collectively authoring, your skills are accumulating, and you're becoming better together. And this is hyperverbal tradition. And what this should start doing with how narratives work and how pop cultural narratives move online is that instead of, for example, in Harry Potter, we have J.K. Rowling's original iteration of Ron Weasley here, the original one, the authentic one, and all of our shitty interpretations of Ron Weasley down here. And what it should amount to, this shift should happen because of hyperverbal tradition, that the Ron Weasley should start to get juxtaposed, and each narrative should mean more and be harder to trace an original of anything because it moves so incredibly fast. And this should make people's focus shift from the original authentic author into collectively authored narratives. Yeah. Next one. But this is not at all what is happening right now. Unfortunately, even though it would be super duper cool, this is not at all what's happening. Because let's return actually for a second to the close cousin, mythical narratives. In mythical narratives, there's something called the authorization problem. And the authorization problem is boiled down to a sentence that you perhaps know the phrase, that the victors of the Raw wrote the history books. And this is because the way we read about a lot of historical narratives and a lot of historical accounts, and a lot of mythical accounts, is through the eyes of people that didn't understand the people they were writing about. So historically, it were perhaps people that weren't part of the community that they were writing about, anthropologists that thought they were smarter, religious people that disagreed religiously with the people they were writing about, and sometimes straight up conquerors and colonists that killed the people they were writing about. And then they wrote their history books about them afterwards, and they get to, and if they survive, they get to read about themselves through the eyes of people that judged them. Or if they died, it's everything that's left of them, and it's some guy that didn't at all understand what he was dealing with. This was such a massive network of collectively authored, intricate narratives that reflected tons of people's lives. And now it's just one stagnant, dead book. But once again, we're in pop cultural narratives. So good old authorization problem doesn't work there. Because the internet is mostly in text, and that hasn't stopped people from tracing out in branches and people collectively authoring. But there is a new authorization problem. And the new authorization problem is called intellectual property. Suspense. And intellectual property is the idea that you can own an idea legally. So you can get a little paper where it says, I invented this is mine and mine alone, and I have the singular rights to the money that will be made off of it. So actually, and it's worse than that. They don't just own the idea, and they claim to protect your ability to make money off of your cultural production, but they also own the correct interpretation of that idea. And let me explain to you how. In Star Wars 9, big deal when that one came out, last one in a long series of Star Wars, and true to Star Wars fashion, it ended with a big celebration scene, and everybody was having a great time, and they felt incredible. And you see here, there are two what appears to be women. There are two what appears to be women kissing here. They're sharing a kiss, and it's a 3-second long scene. I counted, and let's save the pink washing comments for now. But it's a very, very, very short scene. Blink, and you missed it. But oftentimes, people who are marginalized, or minorities, or people in general, like seeing themselves getting represented on screen, and represented in the narratives and they surround themselves with, and accurately represented. So let's say a person saw Star Wars 9, and they went home, and they started to write a fanfiction about it, wherein they were really like these characters, and then they went home and they wrote about them. And they wrote about their perhaps happy lives after the end of Star Wars 9, But this is not the world we live in, because what will happen is that perhaps this fan fiction will get very popular, and people will like it and get inspired by it. And all of a sudden, that train we want rolling of people accumulating their skills and collectively authoring starts running. But what will happen is that Disney, the multi-billion-dollar transmedial entertainment conglomerate that owns Star Wars, they have a lot of robots that scour the internet, very sci-fi of them, and they have a lot of lawyers that these robots tell every time that these robots find something that looks like Star Wars, that sounds like Star Wars, or that reads like Star Wars. And then the very expensive lawyers will send you a letter where it says, you need to stop doing this or we will sue you out of this world. And you perhaps don't have as many money as the Disney Corporation, so you will say, oh, well, sure. And then you pull it down from the website and it is gone. And they own the singular interpretation, and that was too much lesbian representation for them. In other worlds, we could call this for censorship, but this is protected by law. And what also starts happening is that they will weed out their competition with this method, and they will be able to buy more cinema spaces, more robots, more lawyers, more posters, more video games, more merchandise, lunch boxes, fucking t-shirts, whatever. And there will be less and less space to these small individuals trying to collectively author. For example, Avengers Infinity War is some of the best military propaganda I've ever seen. And it's fucking inescapable. It's everywhere. Because they do this all of the time. And this is sort of an obsession with like having an original, correct iteration of something that needs to be protected at all costs. Because this is our owned idea and our correct interpretation of the idea. And this sort of focus on originality has a name, and it's called canonical thought. Because yes, intellectual property is a combo deal, because we also get an obsession with canons. And the first canon, it's the cultural canon. And this is all of the old white guys you know and love, like Mozart and Monet and Picasso and Beethoven, and all of this great culture. The best culture we have to offer, in fact, or so I've been told on multiple occasions. And this means that this culture is incontestably great. These are the pieces of culture we measure the rest of culture production against. And that means you can never be better than it, because this is the pinnacle of everything. So, you perhaps start to practice violin from a very young age. It almost pays off. You play in big concertos, and you get to play Beethoven's Ninth or whatever. But you will always be hearing, "You're really great, but you're no Mozart." But I think that it needs to be mentioned actually is that when I say the cultural canon, I mean the Western canon. This is a conscious choice because this is how it's talked about constantly. That the cultural canon, it has a habit of taking other canons and like gobbling them up into the Western canon and appropriating that culture. And this is because of Western essentialism, and it's and you perhaps know, but this is the cultural canon, meaning the Western canon. Okay, to a definition that is slightly more appropriate for today, and this, of course, Mozart up here, all of your shitty violin playing down here. Yes. But there is a different definition that is slightly more appropriate for us today, and it actually spawns from, it heats from fan culture. I thought that was fun. I'm sorry. But this is the fan canon. And this is not the canon, but this is a canon. Because it's also phrasing. You can ask another person, is this canonical? Is this in the canon? And what this means is that it is fictional fact. Another example. Star Wars 4. I don't like Star Wars that much. It's just really good examples. But just so you know. But this is Star Wars 4. And in Star Wars 4, one of our heroes, Han Solo, walks into Mos Eisley, I think. and Han Solo walks into that like bar, and there is an alien. It's always an alien, isn't it? And he's evil, and he has Han Solo at gunpoint. And then Han Solo sits and is all like shaking in his pants, but not really though, because Han Solo has a gun or a laser blaster, and he pulls it underneath the table. And in a split second, they both shoot at each other, but only Han Solo, our hero, hits the evil alien. But what happened is this spawned a gigantic rift in the Star Wars fandom. And it is this discussion is, did Han Solo shoot first, or did Greedo shoot first? And this is a scene where it is literally like it is intentioned to be literally impossible to see that they shoot who shoots first, because they shoot at the same time. But the discussion is because they want to know that 50% of the Star Wars fandom, they want to know if they are right, and if it's canonical that he's like a scruffed note, good doer, anti-hero sort of I shoot first, whatever type, or if he's like a hero type that would never shoot first, sort of a white knight situation. And what you can do is you can ask, is this canon? But the only person you can ask is the person that originally authored it. So you can go and ask George Lucas, and he can be all smug like and say, no, this has to have ambiguity. And then all of the fans can say, no, we hate ambiguity. What we need to know, what is the correct answer to this piece of culture we are interacting with right now? And this means that interpretations get lesser and lesser, because you can always ask the original author, is this canonical? So this means there's the one true interpretation, George Lucas's decision on whether Han Solo shot first, and J.K. Rowling's shade of orange hair for Ron Weasley. And down here is all of your shitty ass, bad fan interpretations that nobody likes. But now to a much more exciting definition, in my opinion. And this also heats from fan and pop culture. And it is headcanon. This is our headcanon. And this is what you think makes the most sense on whether Han Solo or Greedo shot first. And this is what you think makes the most sense in relation to the text that you're reading, or the movie that you're watching, the piece of culture you're interacting with. And also what you think makes the most sense, like personally, and in your stomach and your gut feeling. And this does not subscribe to this model, because this is iteration and interpretation appreciation. And this starts hyperverbal tradition. And the canon, the cultural canon, it spouts out interpretations all over, and Ron Weasley's will start branching out, and interpretations will start to happen, and skills will start to accumulate, and all of a sudden we're collectively authoring again. How cool. But to sum up, canonical thought is an obsession in culture production with authentic, binary, irreversible statements about the piece of culture that you're interacting with. Very cool. This one. And this perhaps sounds like a bad idea, and that's because it is. And we're not the only people to think so, because there's an anthropologist. I know, I'm sorry, but I rather like this one, actually. I don't know if I should, but he invented something we can use today, and his name was Claude Lévi-Strauss. And what he did was invent a really, really bad methodology to analyzing anthropological studies. And it is the structural study of myth. And he posits that he wants to remove the authorization problem, just as we do. And he posits, what we need to do is we need to go out and we need to find not just the original iterations and books that has been printed and so on, but every single iteration ever made about this cultural narrative we're dealing with. So that's every, in modern day, phone conversation, SMS text message, chat message, talking, regular asshole talking, or a lecture, or a Greek symposium, or whatever you want. And you would need to go out and collect every single little bit of information wherein this cultural narrative is being reproduced. And this is fucking impossible. Like, come on, Claude, this is not as a conceivable thing we can do. But let's say that in mythical narratives, if you really employed a lot of people and it hasn't been collectively authored for a long while, you were able to do it. But this is in no way possible in hyperverbal tradition. Like in pop cultural narratives and online, This is not a thing that can happen. It moves way too fast. So what Claude Lévi-Strauss, by mistake, actually teaches us is that we can't find an original. And then we're kind of stopped. Because then we can't remove the authorization problem. Oh, perhaps the solution was staring us in the face all along. Of course we can, if we stop looking for an original iteration. And we get taught this is one of the only, if not the only ways we can get around and destroy the authorization problem. If we in earnest make an attitude change and we regard fan culture and fan fiction and fan iterations of, for example, Harry Potter as in just as great as regard as J.K. Rowling's original iteration, we have now destroyed the authorization problem. But that means we're authoring Harry Potter, and before there was one run, J.K. Rowling's run, right? And now, if we in earnest believe that our iterations is worth just as much as J.K. Rowling's, I lost it for a second. Give me a second. There won't be one run anymore, J.K. Rowling's run. There will be thousands of runs. There will be so many runs. And the question is actually, how many runs? And I've counted. Almost. So, in the original 7 books, the septology of Harry Potter, I haven't read it, and I don't think you should either. But I have from reliable sources, or what most people online agree, is that there is 1,084,170 words, depending on your translation of Harry Potter, in the entire 7 books. And to give Joe a fair chance, I have only gone to one website and done what I'm about to do. But I have gone to fanfiction.net. It is a fairly popular website, but there's a lot of fanfictions on there. And what I have done is that I have searched in Harry Potter. And then I am going to now present to you the number of fanfictions that will pop up there. 95,427 fanfictions pops up when you search in Harry Potter. And if you take that says nothing about the words, you say, okay, sorry, I'll say something about the word count. And the word count is, if you take the filter on fanfiction.net and you put in only over 50,000. I only like fanfictions that are that long. Over 50,000 words. There are 8,869 fanfictions left. And that means there are, only on fanfiction.net, 443,450,000 words. That's 443 times more authoring than J.K. Rowling will ever do in her life. And this means that we are authoring Harry Potter by a staggering amount. If we truly have had an attitude change, she is a drop in an ocean of people that are collectively authoring Harry Potter. But there is a problem, and it's much more runs than I anticipated. That's a lot of runs. That is a lot of mentions of runs just on this webpage. I need help. So I have consulted another artist. His name is Gudipal. And perhaps you know him, perhaps you don't. But the thing is, he has invented a tool to kind of sort these things out when they get too hard. And what you need to imagine, this is the diagram of Mickey Mousean behavior. So in this is all of Mickey Mouse's behavior, and I'll tell you how it works. So what you need to imagine is that these arrows represent an infinitely expanding grid. This is an infinite grid, and in every single square of these grids there is a situation. One of them could be Mickey Mouse chilling with Minnie. And Mickey Mouse is chilling with Minnie in this situation. Gudipal says that Mickey Mouse, because he is so popular, one of the most popular cultural icons on the planet, he is about to be over-documented. I'll tell you what that means in a second. First, let's see how many of these situations Mickey Mouse has been in. Has Mickey Mouse had a laugh with Goofy? Yes, he has. On multiple occasions, actually. Has he shared a moment with Daisy Duck? You could argue they were friends. Has he decorated a Christmas tree? I'm pretty sure. Has he been at the Leaning Tower of Pisa? On multiple occasions, I would suppose. Has he been in a threesome with 3 fan-made cousins of Donald Duck? Has he supervised a boxing match? Has he dealt drugs? Has he seen Saw 6? Has he fallen in love with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Has he killed Arnold Schwarzenegger? Has he been a cult leader? Has he had a stroke? Has he built a shelter for the homeless? He has done all of these things and many, many more. You need to remember this is an infinite grid. And what Goodipal says is that he has become so close to have been and done everything that he has become over-documented. And notice this only starts to explode when we remove canonical thought out of the equation. When we take fan-made things with, like, seen Saw 6, like Mickey Mouse hasn't seen Saw 6 as far as I'm aware, like not canonically at least, but this starts to explode. And Goodipal's solution for this is that we should not allow that to happen, because what he says is that Mickey Mouse, because he has done so many things, is starting to become omnipresent. His outlines as a character is starting to diminish, and he's become an irrational cultural being, and he has like a property within him that is infinite, and that is he has done everything. So he is actually a singularity. A thing we need to remember is whose interest all of this is in. Intellectual property, so I would just like to mention them very quickly, but I have to admit, this is a pretty good argument to why we shouldn't introduce non-canonical thought, why we should keep canons and why we should keep intellectual properties. This is a pretty good argument, I admit. So let's try to entertain it for a second, actually, and see what we need to do if we want to be inspired by cultural output and make our own while it's following canonical law. Okay, so perhaps you know these guys. If you don't, this is Edward Cullen, really old vampire, looks like a teenage guy, and Bella Swan, and they're from Twilight, written by Stephanie Meyer. Huge teenage hit, and this is Mr. Grey and Anastasia Cullen from the couch masturbatory inducing hit 50 Shades of Grey. And what you perhaps didn't know is that, you know, first, very important, the author of 50 Shades of Grey, the original author, is E.L. James, or that is her pen name. Her real name is Erica Mitchell. So she wrote 50 Shades of Grey, and she has been kind of open about that 50 Shades of Grey is heavily inspired by Twilight. Or actually, she's not that open about it at all. She's kind of embarrassed about it. It's really difficult to find anything about on the internet. But actually, you could go a step further, and you can say that originally 50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction of Twilight. And this seems like the perfect example, right? Like, you perhaps didn't know, and that proves a point. Like, if you didn't know, then it's the perfect non-intellectual property infringing piece of inspiration that gets turned into a new piece of culture. But what you perhaps didn't know, and I know that's even harder to find on the internet, is that Erica Mitchell is not 2 people, which is E.L. James and Erica Mitchell. She is in fact 3. And she is also a Snow Queen Ice Dragon. And that is Erica Mitchell's pen name on fanfiction.net. Because 50 Shades of Grey didn't start out as a fanfiction of Twilight. There is something in the middle, and it's called Master of the Universe. And instead of Mr. Grey and Anastasia Steele having what Erica Mitchell thought was a good representation of BDSM sex, most of the BDSM community agrees that it's a really bad representation of BDSM sex. But instead of those two having it in 50 Shades of Grey, it is, teenage vampire heartthrob and Bella Swan having it in Master of the Universe. So in Master of the Universe, that is a direct fanfiction wherein Edward Cullen and Bella Swan just fuck for like thousands of pages. They fuck and they fuck and they fuck, and then and what started to happen was that this fanfiction got really, really popular, and people started to like it. They started to comment on it, and just before the robots, it was also kind of long ago, but the robots wasn't that good at finding stuff then. But just before the robots could go get her and say, this is illegal under intellectual property law, cease and desist, you need to stop doing this, all at once, she did something that is very common when you want to turn a fan fiction into real fiction. And that is called filing off the serial numbers. And perhaps you have noticed that these are not the same people. And they don't look like each other, and they don't have the same names. But as we just learned, they are heavily based on each other. But what you need to do when you want to earn money off of your fanfiction, you want it not to be snagged up by the intellectual property lawyers, is that you need to remove the name and face of Mr. Teenage Vampire Heartthrob, and the name and face of Bella Swan, and you need to turn it into other people. So all you need to do is remove the likeness, you remove the likeness from the fanfiction, and you turn it into a new fiction, an original fiction. So all you need, once again, all you need to do, remove the face and the name, and then all of a sudden it's, what are we protecting then? If all you need to do is remove the names and faces, and you can keep the interpersonal relationships, the social structures, the setting, the narrative, everything that made it a fan fiction or whatever of sorts, that was you being inspired by another piece of culture, all you need to do is remove the name and face. And what are we protecting them with intellectual property law? If what you need to do to make it proper and earn your money is just to remove superficial stuff that can be changed in a heartbeat from your piece of culture. I'll tell you what we are protecting, and I'll tell you how we're protecting it. Intellectual property are the swords and shields of canonical thought, and it's because when you remove the names and faces of these two people, if you keep them, you don't lose the ability to make money off of your story. The original Twilight will still be there. There will just also be a Twilight where they fuck a lot. The original will be there, and what you do lose the potential for is a transmedia merchandise franchise. You lose the opportunity for lunchboxes, you lose the ability for t-shirts, you lose the ability for posters, you lose the ability to sell the movie rights. And this is because you need faces to sell that stuff, because faces are what you can brand, and faces are what you can turn into advertising. And names are what you can turn into advertising, and it's what you can turn into a brand. And if other people use the likenesses, there is also a danger that Snow Queen Ice Dragon or E.L. James or Erica Mitchell's iteration of Twilight where they fuck a lot would become more popular than the original Twilight. And they're really, really afraid of that, and that's one of the reasons why they call it stealing, because they can't have that it becomes more popular than theirs, because then they lose a lot of money. And it isn't even that they're afraid that it will be more popular than theirs, it's because they're afraid that it will be popular at all. Because when they are talking about stealing, and you stealing their likenesses, and you stealing the story, they are not talking about stealing. You're undertaking nothing from them. As we established earlier, the original iterations will still be there. The original Twilight will still be there. The original Harry Potter will still be there. But what they will lose is potential revenue. And potential revenue is all of a sudden stealing. And that means you can call interpretation, and you can call iteration, and you can call collective authoring. You will call that stealing, because that is a potential loss of revenue. And also, are we really stealing from these people? Or are we stealing from the gigantic structures that exist around them? And also, stealing, because it is once again, I can't stress this enough, it's potential revenue we're stealing. There's no money that leaves no hands at any point, and these people are getting censored left and right, and closed down, and hyperverbal tradition, and collective authoring, and these fantastic networks of people that share skills, and that get inspired by each other, and they make things that become new things, and they become completely unrecognizable to each other. Like, you know, how cultural production has worked forever. This gets stopped because they lose potential revenue. And also, when it needs to be good advertising, because this is what it's all about, intellectual property, and therefore canonical thought is about good advertising. Or it can be seen that way. And good advertising, as we all know, need to make the most money. And one way they make the most money is by upholding the status quo. And that's no matter how anti-queer, racist, patriarchal, fascist, or whatever you nasty word and belief you could put on that status quo. They're interested in keeping it. Because good advertising can't be radical. And therefore resistance against capitalistic, fascist, and patriarchal structures are not in canonical thoughts and intellectual property's interest, because it will make them less money. That's why you can't collectively author anymore, and that's why fanfiction doesn't work as it should, and that's why hyperverbal tradition isn't in effect currently. So in canonical thought's wake, there happens censorship of narratives the author, the intellectual property, doesn't agree with. Closing down of what was about to become something new happens continually. Hours of labor are destroyed in the name of monetary gain, and it stifles interpretation as a way of engagement. So, to summarize, due to hyperverbal tradition, originality should diminish and narratives should be juxtaposed. Canonical thought stops this from happening due to their weaponization of ownership. The search for an original in such a fast-moving narrative environment is impossible. When we juxtapose narratives as of equal value, we order them by huge difference in mass. The original characters does not get diminished and irrational by new iterations as we are taught. Intellectual properties adhere to canonical thought to protect the status quo that makes them money. We should resituate our virtues we impose on narratives and not value originality, thereby expropriating the narratives and absolving canonical thought, drowning the originals in an ocean of interpretations and alterations. Finally, allowing us to expropriate narratives away from bigots with abilities to censor you. So what can we do is the important next step. And as you know, perhaps, is that this is not only a lecture, this will turn into a workshop in a second, and I'll put you guys to work. But firstly, you need to know one of the direct actions of resistance you can do. And this is something called red toting. It's the first time I read about it was from a really cool artist and PhD student called Anna Matilda Sousa. But it has been popular for a long time. And if you frequent the internet, you perhaps know this methodology. And it is, for example, when Donald Trump was president, there was a lot of people that really didn't like him. And then they went to reddit.com and they made a post. And the post was a picture of Donald Trump. And in the title of the post, it said, idiot. And in the comment section, it said, upvote this, give lots of likes to this picture, so that when people search on Google for idiot, Donald Trump's face will show up. And this shit works. Because if you pull up your phone, not that you have to, but if you pull up your phone in the next couple of days or right now and search for red toad, like a red frog, a real red frog, you either get, a real red frog or this squeaky guy from Super Mario Brothers. This is a real methodology for direct intervention against diluting the narratives we're struggling against. If we upload enough Ron Weasleys that are actually cool and not written by some trans-hating bigot, there will actually show some cool Ron Weasleys up, perhaps. And this is what I want us to do. Because now the lecture stops, and I implore you to urinate, have a cigarette, or drink a beer or whatever. But we'll meet here again, and not that you need to leave, you can also go directly up here. Up here there are 2 tables, and there is a printer you can use. You can just ask me if you want to print something up here with the computer. Otherwise, there are markers and paper, and there is blue tack and a lot of Ron Weasley heads. And what I want you to do is that we need to fill out the diagram of Ron Weasley and behavior. So what you see here on this wall is the squares that are precisely an A4 page wide. And what I want us to do now is fill out the diagram of Ron Weasley and behavior. And afterwards, we'll talk about them and sort them and figure out what is the most Ron, what is the least Ron, what is the most canonized, something J.K. Rowling would write, what is the most expropriated, something we can punish her with, and upload to the internet by red toning. So, grab a drink. We'll meet at these tables. Thank you very much.
Fortæl mig lige her. Jeg vil gerne have pixel lidt i Ron Weasley.
Så er det bare at gå i gang.
Skal jeg skrive? Skal jeg selv skrive til?
Du går ikke skrive til det?
Må jeg?
Ja.
Se det før, eller? Ja. Er det rigtigt?
Jeg tror faktisk også, jeg hører det. Det var lige hvor der efterfølgende var nogle ting, der blev haft og sådan noget. Jeg tror jeg faktisk, du blev interviewet også. Og der ene, der var et, der sagde nemlig, der sagde til mig, jeg tror det er en anden stemme, det der. Jo, det er rigtigt.
Det er meget fedt.
Det er faktisk meget fedt.
China runs, Chile runs.
Ja, det er faktisk gammelt. Både Simon havde fat i det. Jeg synes også, den er super sej, ikke? Så godt.
Okay, hvor meget begejstret? Hvor meget begejstret? Forestil dig. Det er en chance.
Det var nok bare Aske.
Jeg bare skrive her om det.
Skaffer mig lige en pils til.
Det er så småflau.
Liker du den ikke i det hele tatt?
Nej, ellers tak.
Jeg
Det er bare op med den.
er flau, så jeg bare ikke dømmer den.
Ja.
Altså, jeg blir sånn...
Da tar jeg glasset ditt.
Jeg har vin. Hej.
Hvilke forstyrrer hvis du leter etter noe?
Nej, det gør du ikke.
Nei,
Vil du printe?
ja, kan du printe?
Ja.
Kan du finne et bilde av Jarle Klepp?
Det må du selv stave til, det kan jeg simpelthen ikke.
Jeg vil ha full body. Kom igjen da! Ja, ok, nei, men jeg kan tegne resten av den. Skriv, oi,
Ja,
skriv litt.
skal den der? Den her?
Den der, ja.
Ja. Vi fikser det.
Supert.
Fy. Nu
Hvor
mister
blev det
han.
af?
Hvor blev han af? Han gemmer sig.
Ja.
Vi gør det sådan her, og det var nemmere.
Der.
Der. Ja, jeg fikser ham.
Super. Og litt sånn sånn så stort på en måte.
Ja, jamen du får bare en fuld af 4 side.
En full av 4?
Ja.
Ja, ok.
Og så ser vi, hvor det går derfra.
Ja, men det er jo sikkert det.
Ja,
Ok.
selvfølgelig. Her, op på væggen.
Skal du selv bestemme, hvor de skal hen?
Det kommer senere. Ja.
Hvem er det her?
Aner det ikke. Det er godt.
Det er rigtig godt billede. De ligner hinanden på det billede.
Ja, det gør.
Jeg ser hun vildt ud.
Hun ser fucked ud. Hun er så nøjeren.
Kan du også printe billeder af ham der fra Dune-filmen? Hvad fuck er det nu, han hedder, ham skuespiller?
Er der mere?
Det skal jeg ikke kunne sige.
Hvad?
Det skal jeg ikke kunne sige.
Han fra Call Me By Your Name.
Timothy Chalamet. Ja, 100. J.K. Rowling er i gang.
fejl?
Nej.
Alt er til.
Ja, prøv den lidt.
Skal der have noget?
Så kan jeg have en øl.
Det skal der ikke.
Det lyder dejligt.
Vi ser, om vi kan få øl.
Det kan man. Hvad skal vi printe? Det skal vi da. Hvad med det her? Yes, Avril Lavigne er på vej.
Did you have a speech? I missed it. But I made one.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
So that would be
Too much mitigation. Was it a whole PowerPoint? How did it go?
very well.
Yeah. I was at the art and craft show.
Oh yeah.
Karen.
Yeah, I know. I called her.
Oh,
She
really?
called me.
Oh. Amazing. Why? No, I'm in the masters.
Yeah. Second.
Yeah. But we don't have a show yet.
Fuck, that's
Ours
right.
is
You
in
have a
June.
secondary one.
No, it's our first one's in June.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, the secondary to the other restaurant. That is kind of nice.
But did you
It really did.
Yeah.
Really did.
And so you just briefly contextualize the Ron Weasley.
Yeah, we really don't like original iterations of authorship. We want to entice collective authorship. So we are flooding the internet with Ron Weasleys to undermine the heroes.
On Twitter?
No, on nothing on the internet yet, but right now we're producing them.
Amazing. so you're like doing like a little workshop. Amazing. Yeah. Fun. I love it. Well, congratulations.
Right? Thank you.
You did good.
Åh, han fick en rundt.
Good luck.
Okay, I think we'll do like 5 or 10 more minutes. Yeah, and then we'll meet, and then we'll reconvene.
Jeg har lavet en virkelig åndssvag. Vil du se den? Okay.
Jeg skal hive den frem. Skal vi starte hen til?
Nå, okay, ja, så den er totalt åndssvag.
Dude, isn't the problem with cat that you can't always reemerge? You can't, it's not working.
Yes,
You're
unless
gonna
you,
get a new cat.
unless you have an actual attitude change.
But no, you have an attitude change, and then you create a new cat, and then you're stuck in the same thing again.
Unless the attitude change is actually genuine and the attitude change is focus on collectible.
Okay, so there's one final.
There is one.
Final canon.
Yeah,
Super canon.
because
That's
it's a non-canon. Because it will diminish as a canon when it gets to the
So you think there's like a final canon that's perfect? Or
No, I don't. I think there's a full, I think if there is a shift into focus on collective ownership, that it will get too much of an overload of information and you will have to trace original authors. That will be impossible.
is there something you want to accomplish, or are you just kind of...
Well, right now we're shitting on J.K. Rowling, right? And we're learning that it can be fun to direct action. We're educating each other in this room. So I suppose that's what I want.
It was interesting. It definitely made me think.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I know.
Ja.
This was really cool.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I try to make it.
Do you do a lot of it?
Yeah, no, it's this part. Or very, I perform this.
Okay.
I like it.
Theory. It's mostly theory. Is this performance art?
I would say so.
What kind of... What kind of stuff have you been reading?
Oh, mostly Tumblr.
Tumblr?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of good stuff to read there. Thank you.
No, it's like, oh, I can't draw anymore. Like, I lost my ability to
Oh,
draw.
me neither, me
I'm
neither.
like,
I can't draw either.
baby drawing,
Yeah.
baby drawing. That's
I
what's
also do
happening.
baby drawing.
Like,
Op med den. Pas på, du står i HDMI-kablet. Vend. Nej, den skal bare være på hjemme.
Slitter to it. Why Ron Weasley?
Because he's innocuous.
Why don't you like J.K. Rowling's interpretation, Ron? What was wrong? Or there was just a
Nothing,
fan art?
just
You were
that,
like,
just
I don't
that it's the only one right now. So that is like,
Okay, so you want everything to be open for like an audience can change and determine what something is?
yes,
Well, why?
for them. Because it's cool. I suppose that, I hope that was true. Like, it reflects more people's lived experiences and people who start to share skills instead of enshrining singular people with some idea of an inherent genius.
Skriver man ut en bild
Hos mig.
hos dig?
Hvad var du skrevet?
Janglin.
Okay, den er bra.
Med en lin i handen.
det ska man inte ha med en kopp i alla fall.
Så er det bare at vælge et billede.
Måste ha liksom helt kropp.
Ska vi ha with lin?
Lin. Ja,
Eller drinking.
Drinking.
Ja, det var inte mycket bilder på det.
Man kan ju lägga till om man behöver ha en bild på någon som man ritar.
Ganglin.
I don't know yet.
Full body. Naked. Ja, men vi kan ha den här bara.
Ja, jeg tager den og printer den.
Ja, det blir perfekt ju.
Ja, han är fantastisk.
Ja, det känns som ett barn.
Nu printer den.
When you sign up, you're also supposed to print out things.
Det går att printa ut.
Vil du printe?
What?
Vil du printe?
Nej, inte samma.
Den er i gang.
Så frågar man Kajsa. Kajsa har kontroll över datorn.
Yes.
Du har dator.
Ja.
Och det heter Kajsa. Kan jag följa dig?
Jeg har ikke noget.
Da blir det... Må jeg huske det?
Ja.
Oh my goodness, I can't.
Okay, we'll do 2 more minutes. Yeah? Very cool. And then after 2 minutes, just grab your seat, and then we'll get talking.
Let's talk more.
Linda. Hi.
That's good.
Det er sjovt, hvor meget jeg tænker. Jo, det synes jeg, jeg synes, der er mange ting, der
We need the OG, the J.K. Rowling here, the original. Like A1, like first out.
You make it.
First out.
You make it.
The first out?
Just make it without anything.
No, it's her. It's like a canon.
You get the first
So
hit.
it's not empty, it's like her. Is that her? No.
That's the first hit.
The youngest one.
This one. What's the... sorry. What's the... Who made this? This whole idea?
Oh, me. Oh, yeah, but we're going to change it. It's called Critical, the guy that did the over documentation thing that we disagree with. Er der nogen, der vil hjælpe mig med det her bord?
I can have it.
Så tager vi det tilbage ud.
Jeg skulle på arbejde.
Okay, so if we can slowly start to grab our seats and move a little closer perhaps. Ja. Vil du kunne rykke lidt den vej? Tak. We're not that many people anymore, so if you want to join in, you can just pull your chair upwards off here, if you want to.
Den blir igjen da.
Takk.
Behøver du hjelp? Så går det bra, eller trenger du hjelp?
Det går bra. Oi. That was not as dramatic as I wanted it to be.
You want help with this particular part, or you're good?
No, I also think I'm good. There we go.
Jeg pleide å røyke, men nå er det så slitsomt.
Let's see, do we have any blue side?
Yes.
So down here we will have Ron. Up here we will have not Ron. I'll have to make the two next ones.
Jeg bare glemmer faktum med at jeg kan tegne. Jeg bare sånn...
And over here we will have Canon. And over here we will have expropriated. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take every single one of the runs from the diagram of Ron Weasley and behavior, your creations, and we're going to sort them within this here diagram. And usually I have some extremes to present here at the edges of it, but I'll just have to do them verbally because the printer has given up on me. So over here in the expropriated and not run area, this could be fucking anything. Because this doesn't have to be run, and it doesn't have to be in accordance with any canon. So it could be something that Ron would never do and mingle with. So my favorite example is, do you know the Japanese method of drawing beautiful fighting girls? Bishouyu, it's called, and there is some figurines of that, and they often mix with other cultural productions, and one of them is Megatron. So Bishouyu, Megatron, very sexy lady that looks like Megatron, and then you can put Ron on top of that, and it's Bishouyu Megatron, and then we put it up here. Has nothing to do with Ron. It's thoroughly expropriated because it has nothing to do with J.K. Rowling's iteration. Over here, not Ron and canon. That is the most difficult one because I seriously spent a month trying to figure out this example because it's very rare that it is something J.K. Rowling would write, and it is Ron, and it is within the category of Ron because all of these are Rons, but it doesn't feel like Ron. So what I usually put up there is when Ron within Harry Potter drinks a polyjuice potion and he turns into Crab, the evil bully from Slytherin. And then he looks different, and he talks different, and he acts different because he needs to convince other people he's different. So that could be Polyjuice Potion Crab Ron is up here. And down here, wait, actually, I have this one for a reason. Down here, in Canon Ron, this is just plain old Ron. This is Ron Ron Weasley Ron, the Ron we know. And down here is where it gets really interesting, because this is expropriated and Ron Weasley. So this means that J.K. Rowling wouldn't write Ron Weasley as such, but we can agree as people that are co-authoring Harry Potter that it is most definitely Ron Weasley still. Are you following me so far? Very cool. So, let's get started. Waiter Ron. What do we do with him? He waits tables, a wine glass of some sorts, 2 other glasses. Where do we put him? I don't know if you are saying over here? Yeah, I don't know if is it Ron-like or not Ron-like to wait tables?
I mean, he's not academically inclined.
No, he's not. He's not academically inclined. That's true, actually. So we are perhaps moving along the expropriated line as we're speaking. And is it so here? Here? Yeah, that will be fine. That's the first one. And that covers up Ron as the biggest brother. I feel he has very little brother energy. I don't know about you guys, but
I love you guys.
I feel like he has little brother energy, but he's also very much a little brother. He's a big brother to his little sister, and he's kind of like overprotective of her in a big brother way, which is not that cool. Where it's like, oh, don't fucking kiss boys or whatever. He's not really cool about it. Yeah. So perhaps here, what do you guys think? Up, more down, more up, more not Ron-esque, because he's much more little brother.
To the right.
Yeah, to the right, over here.
Yeah, because it's not canon.
Because it's not canon. But it is canon, he is a little brother.
But he's not the biggest.
No, he is just a big brother.
He's a brother.
Okay, perhaps here. Yeah, we'll do it here.
No, don't cover it.
No, we won't. We'll do all of them. Don't you worry. So, this is biblically accurate Angel Ron. So, there's a Ron, not an angel, as you know, Gabriel and the other guys. I only know Gabriel from the Bible, angel canon actually. But this is an angel with a lot of eyes and wings, but all of the eyes and wings are Ron. I feel this is thoroughly over here, like thoroughly expropriated. Not very Ron-like either. So perhaps this is actually all the way. I feel this is like some sort of area in the extreme. So perhaps here. Yeah. Yes. And here we have J.K. Rowling. The end. The book says. He's writing, and he has sort of a steaming glass of a beverage in a dark room. This is kind of like, what is the name? This is like an aesthetic, like Gothic Library Core or something like that. I can't remember. But this is like Gothic Library Core Ron, who reads J.K. Rowling, writes J.K. Rowling the end.
Like Hobbit writing the Hobbit.
So this is one of the times where I'm in considerable doubt. What are we going to do here? I need some help. Help.
Not canon.
Not canon. No, that's true. So that puts us over the expropriated line, actually. He's some sort of writer, which is not very Ron-like either. So perhaps here, also because I really just want to get to this one. Yeah, cool, we'll do this. It is here. Here we have Ron Weasley Ron, little kid Ron Weasley Ron, and I think little kid Ron Weasley Ron goes in the Ron canon Ron down here. So that's what we do. And here we have participant in a performance lecture Ron. This is kind of meta, because if you didn't know, we are in the middle of a performance lecture. But we are not Ron Weasley, and how would he feel about this whole thing? Is the question. Oh, he looks very angry. But that is very Ron-like in my opinion. He sulks a lot. I think he sulks. He's like sulky sort of person. So perhaps Ron-like, very Ron-like. But would he go to an art exhibition and experience a performance lecture?
If Hermione forced him.
Yeah, but that's just him being like, I don't know. He's not really. I don't know. So, I think maybe over here. Do we all agree? Yeah? Cool. I'll do that. This is a cool one. This is Barbie Ron. As seen in the new Barbie movie with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. But more well known from the, toy things.
I mean, there is there is Barbie dolls with the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah, but the real question we need to ask ourselves is actually, would the manufacturers of Barbie ever make a Ron Barbie? No. So that is actually real life canonized, but sort of expropriated within the universe of Harry Potter, because J.K. Rowling is writing within real life, but that would be the Muggle world, wherein they don't exist. So I put it right here in the middle, where we don't really know. I'll go ahead and do that. This is one of my favorite ones, because we actually need to engage a lot with it. This is this. This Ron. And if we need to analyze this for a second. And he has sort of a mohawk thing going on.
It's the dragons.
Dragons type. It is sort of a dragony, but it has heels as well. Like a Faustian shape also as well. So I don't know if Ron, I think he's a dick, but I don't know if I would call him directly Faustian. Or, do you disagree? No, Faust Ron is not Ron. So that puts us over here. But dragons are very canon, and he's fucking uncle or something is the dragon guy, right? That puts us kind of canon, but he's quite uncool about these dragons. He finds them very scary.
And he would never wear high heels.
He's way up here. No. He's not comfortable enough in his gender to do that at all. So here we have Triclops Ron. So 3 heads, presumably talking to each other, we don't know. Has a sort of tattoo that says JK, which it sometimes means just kidding, but I think we can surmise out of this context, it is Joe for JK Rowling. So I think he would like. What do you think Ron's earnest opinion about JK Rowling would be? Is the real question, right? Because the tattoo here. I think like 3 heads isn't that weird in like the world of Harry Potter. That happens all of the time. Like, oh no, my potions glass went wrong or something. But the JK tattoo is what we need to zoom in on. What? I need some help. What would Ron Weasley's? I'm kind of biased about Ron Weasley because I think he's a dick. So I perhaps need some help. What would Ron Weasley think about J.K. Rowling in real life?
Probably happy.
Yeah?
He would be fine with her.
He would be fine with her. Yeah. He's not like caught up on feminism to, you know, read her tweets.
Yeah.
So this is canon, sort of. J.K. Rowling would also. This is the real question. This is the real question we need to ask ourselves. J.K. Rowling would most definitely write Ron to love J.K. Rowling. Come on. So actually, this is quite canon, and this is also quite Ron, I would say. So he ends up down here, having fun. Here we have Ron Weasley holding a dead bird, smiling. So either a fascination, like a morbid fascination with biology, or he doesn't like animals that much. And we need to decide on an interpretation. I think not the morbid fascination thing, but I don't think he has that pet rat that he always talks about and stuff like that. So what do we think? Is it over here?
Lower.
No, lower?
Lower.
No, much lower.
Lower, yeah.
Okay.
Bottom lower.
Okay. Also this much to the right, or do we need to back a little
Right.
up? Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Why do you think so?
Not canon at all, but it's really dick move.
It's really a dick move, and Ron Weasley's a dick, sort of. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now, okay, this is exciting because this is the first run today that we have down in the expropriated and run category. So this is what we need to upload to the internet to make J.K. Rowling the most pissed off. Ron Weasley holding a dead bird, smiling. Not the good friend she thought he was.
Also right, yes.
Okay. So here we have Ron in a purple sort of dress with the chandelier. So it's like a formal event. We can surmise.
Not smiling.
And he fucking hates his life. So I think that's quite Ron-like.
I mean, it's Hermione's dress.
Because perhaps it's Hermione's dress. It is Hermione's dress.
I didn't do that. But
Yeah. Okay. So no, he wouldn't do that because he's thoroughly uncomfortable with like the whole femininity thing, as established in the original ball scene, where he has slightly quite cool get-up actually, but it's slightly feminine and he throws a fucking fit like a teenager because he's one. So over and expropriated, also kind of up here, I would say. This is not run-like. This is also expropriated. We put it here. Is that fine? Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's do that. Here we have Rabbit in a Hat, magician Ron Weasley. So what I immediately think of is that he literally exists in a world where magic is real. And he chooses to pick up, and he chooses to choose the vocation, Muggle magician. Which I don't know. I think he has sort of ego issues. He does. All he needs is a little boost though, but he has ego issues. So perhaps this could lift his spirits where he could use real magic and convince Muggles that he's really, really good at it. So I think actually that moves us down here. Yeah? No major objects. No, this is good. Okay. Here we have another one we need to talk about. So, this is another Mohawk situation. That is kind of a running theme in the abstract ones. He has a rose hanging, and there's an abstract Ron hanging upside down. And a flame sticking out here. So also a sort of dragon-esque situation. What do we think? Help. What do we think?
Naturally, dragon, I guess.
That's a good. That's a good. Where's the other dragon is up here, and
I
I
would
feel
also say maybe close to Ron, closer to Ron.
closer to Ron.
Like
Down here.
very, but
Does he like flowers?
Maybe near Barbie. So here. How do you feel about that?
How is his relationship with flowers? Like, does he like?
I mean, if it's a present to
How is his relationship with flowers? I don't know. I haven't read the books. So you need to help me. So okay, I'm putting this here for now. No major objections? No? Good. This is really cool. This is either Jared Leto at the new Met Gala or just a regular old furry run.
It's the cats.
It's the cats run also, yes. So this is something that could most definitely happen within the Harry Potter canonical universe, cinematic universe, or the canon in general, I would say. So that moves us over here. This screen is too big. That moves us over here. Yeah? Is it Ron-like to do the whole fur thing? No. You say no? You say no, you say no, so no. We get up here. Yeah. We'll do that.
Okay, so you're stepping on there.
Oh, no!
Oh my God!
No! I am so sorry. Oh, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. That's horrible. That has never happened before. It won't happen again. Okay, this is Ron commenting at his big size. For the people that can't read Norwegian, he says, "Oh, it ain't that small." I don't know. Like, yeah. What the fuck ever, right? Yeah. He's maybe even more Ron. Down here? Yeah, let's do that. Very cool. Bodybuilder Ron, lifting dead weights.
Same.
Not Ron? Not Ron, not Cannon. So up here actually. Yeah? Yeah, you screen?
That could be wrong.
Up and right.
Up and a little to the...
Right.
We're having... Why?
I haven't seen it either. So
No, cool. We'll do it here. Yes? Okay, here we have this. Oh, it's also a vampire vibe. Yes. Several bats. Him in a like sort of situation. I don't think he would be a count. Or are vampires always counts?
Nah.
Oh, yes, sure. I suppose. But I put him here. Yeah?
yes.
This was a weird one.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yes, there most definitely are. It's more canonized actually, but in the middle of the run thing. Yeah? I think that's a good spot. And we need to spend extra time on this one because I stepped on it by accident. I'm sorry. And this is Ron Weasley playing saxophone. And actually, a fun fact, this is that I have done this performance 3 times, and 3 times has there been a Ron playing saxophone. Which is a weird fact. I don't know why, but... And therefore, I know where he goes, and it's here. And you won't disagree, because it's true. We're like 40 people that has discussed this, way more than me in the world. So, saxophone Ron is there.
Is it the same?
Oh, we have, this is Ron as the biggest brother. And we have, this is a weird one. Glowing neon hands Ron.
Could happen.
He has kind of a small statue as well. I don't know, I think this is over here.
I mean, it would happen if you drank some potion.
Yeah, yes, I suppose. Like neon hands, also common in the potion room. Yeah, so that is actually a true neutral. Here. Yes, I'll do it
Nearby Barbie.
Huh?
Nearby Barbie.
More canonical than Barbie.
More canonical than Barbie. That is actually true. So over here? Yes, let's do it. No! This is kind of wet as well. Okay. Here, right? Very cool. Okay, let's see if that hangs on. Okay. This run is a concept run because it's written, and it is killing Harry slowly and painfully without knowing why. Well, he has the Horcrux situation, the whole Horcrux thing, so that makes it super canon in my opinion. Which moves us over here. Yeah, and it is also quite run-like because he was about to kill him at one point, right? Do I remember correctly? At least we can put it here without any major objections. More lower. We'll put it here. I personally, I don't need to take touch. So here he is. Oh, but he's. There we go. We're getting crowded. Oh, here we have another concept run. I am gorgeous and I start dressing feminine. I love wearing silk dresses and diamonds. My family supports me, but Harry is a dick.
It's very run, but not.
Oh shit. I think we're moving down here with this one, right? Because in the perfect world, Harry's a dick just saves it for me, sort of, you know? But more like here, because he is really thoroughly uncomfortable with any expression of femininity. So I would do it here actually. Yeah? Okay. Ron transforming into a squirrel. There we go. Okay. This is some Nazi stuff. So, I'm sorry, but Adolf Weasley, the evilest Potter season. I don't know where to put this.
Do you want J.K. Rowling to see it?
I suppose, but I don't think I would ever equate Ron Weasley to Hitler in no measure whatsoever. Putting it over here, and I'm putting it in not Ron as well. Yep. So, this is Siamese trad space communist runs. So these are struggling a lot with their health. They've had a really difficult time from birth because they have been sharing organs, it looks like, which is a difficult experience. And they're space communists as well. And they're very traditional in their beliefs. So this is kind of a soup of a lot of different stuff happening at once. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with this without generalizing heavily, and I really don't want to. So I'm putting it in the middle. Okay, this one perhaps needs a little context. It's Metroid Run, and Metroid is intellectual property or a franchise owned by Nintendo, wherein a boss bitch called Samus Aran walks around and kills fucking aliens. And sometimes these aliens sucks your life force or whatever. It was not really ever clearly communicated what it was they did, but they like sucked something out of you. And he is one. So he sucks something life force out of people.
Like the vampire.
Like the vampire. Okay, yeah, sure. So, yeah. But lower. Why is this more runners?
He's really sucking out of the
Yes! Yes! Okay, yeah, actually, down here. That's really good. We'll do that. So, kind of a Franken-Run situation. The classic Franken-Run.
Isn't it a Hulk or? Oh no, it's
Hulk-Run, Franken-Run. I'm sorry, I don't know. Okay, let's do Hulk Ron first because it's clearly Hulk now. No, look, he has the
there
small
are
stitches and shit.
yeah.
I was right, Franken Ron. So he has been revived against his own wishes by a person that went manic, obsessed by their own genius in a laboratory on a stormy hill or whatever. It thunders. It's scary. Yeah, it's very canon. It could totally happen. Yeah, right in the middle. We'll do that. Okay. This is Ron burning all of the Harry Potter books. And it's always controversial burning books, we should remember. That has been used as a strategy by a lot of fascist governments throughout time. But J.K. Rowling is also a really bad writer, and she sucks.
And Ron wouldn't like Harry Potter.
Ron, don't you think you would like Harry Potter?
He would like Ron Weasley.
I think Ron would like Harry Potter. What?
No, but
Or
he's a dick in Harry Potter.
Yes.
So he would not like Harry Potter.
But does he know? Okay, in this fictional universe where he reads a book about himself, does he know?
Like he would like a book that's called Ronald Weasley and whatever.
That's true. Okay, so I get kind of canon vibes from this. Or yeah, sure. We'll do here for now. Up, down, no? Yes. Ron in a house on a hill that is Ron also? Do people become houses in Harry Potter? Does anybody know? I'm in doubt. Yes? No? Help! I seriously don't know. What are we going to do with this one?
Expropriated Ron.
Okay. Over here.
Yeah, but down.
This much down? Nobody disagrees? Then this is yours. Wow, somebody is really good at saving blue text. Ron here in some sort of cool getup says, "I won't pay the rent." So he hates like institutionalized living situations and landlords probably, and I think we can surmise that's why he won't pay the rent, or he's really lazy and doesn't want a job, either one. Which is a totally fine thing to do, by the way. What? Yeah.
It's quite true.
Expropriated? But he is from a working class home, so he should have some idea of like the abuse of workers around the world and like how landlords are using people for their own comfortable lives.
But he would never impose anything important, so like really high and really right.
But he helped kill Voldemort. That's a good question. Okay, I think that puts us here actually. Because yeah, he perhaps helped kill Voldemort. Also, he's from a working class family. But also this seems like too cool of a stance.
Yeah, I think it's more Ronnie if like he just lazy and doesn't wanna pay the rent.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think wizards pay rent.
Probably not.
It's because they owe.
This puts us over here actually. Yeah?
Yeah, because if you didn't have to pay themselves, it would definitely be a political statement.
Yes, precisely.
And I don't think it would make.
No, precisely. It would be more of a political statement if wizards and witches didn't pay. So we'll actually put it over here.
But also, like, his family is one thing, but his own, like, class awareness is a different thing. So I would go
Up? Yeah. Here, perhaps? We put it here. You're really fond of the extremes, I've noticed. So I think we need to fill out the middle a little. This is the Slither twins. If you don't know, within Harry Potter there is 4 houses. One is Ravenclaw, one is Gryffindor, one is Hufflepuff. I don't know what badges say, and one is Slytherin, which is the evil one. And here there's 2.
I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah?
canon, not Ron.
Canon, not Ron?
More canon.
More canon?
More canon and higher.
And higher, not. So over here, he's not a Slytherin.
No.
More even over here? Oh, the first one. That would actually be great, so we'll do that. It looks so empty. Like, oh, why is this category even included? No, Harry, your plan sucks. Hermione and I are medieval, leaving this fascist, exclusionary, binary private school to live on a gay tropical island. We don't need money for top surgery. We have magic.
So wrong, so not canon.
Yes! Oh shit, that's true! Yeah, that was actually true. He has like a kind of vindictive tone, which I feel is very Ron-like. He's petty, sort of, right? We do this. Okay. This is Timothy Chalaron. Underneath here, Timothy Chalamet, he's peeking from underneath here. The star of movies such as Call Me By Your Name, The New Dune, and also that one movie with the global stuff with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah?
Not Ron.
Not Ron.
Really?
Not Ron. Yeah? Here? Here? Oh, here.
More not Ron.
Right? Or,
I think they're both really wrong. Like both wrong.
yeah?
No, but if Timothy Chalamet were to play anyone in Harry Potter, that would be Harry Potter.
That's true. Timothy Chalamet would never play Ron. He would never play Ron. So that, I think that puts us here, perhaps. Or?
They're both so awkward.
Do you really think Timothy Chalamet is awkward? No, but he's like charming awkward. Like he's not truly awkward.
That's the mainstream, like slave. He's like really.
I don't know these deep cuts, but I trust you.
My TikTok is all about.
Okay, sure. I trust you completely now. Okay, so actually a middle sort of situation. Here?
Lower.
Oh shit.
Yes, thank you.
This is as far as I'll go. Okay, and where do we go? Isn't this way?
Not canon.
Not canon also. Good. Yes. And this puts us. Devilish Angel, sort of a biblical theme tonight. Devilish Angel Ron. Where's the other angel?
There, next to the Ron writing novel.
To the right.
Yeah. Here, sort of. Yeah. I like when they come in clusters. We haven't done this one. This is. Sorry, I usually don't do this. Who did this one?
She left.
She left. Oh fuck! Because I can't read the words. So it says trauma, rebirth, ongoing, soon to be true. Mixed feelings, trying to hide it. Yeah? Well, this is just Ron's lived experience. Right? Yeah, I'll do it. What? Okay. Here we have a thing that's never happened before. Somebody has printed Jo herself. So this is J.K. Rowling. Which is a really good pun. But, okay, how alike are these two people? I think Ron is like an infinitely better person than J.K. Rowling will ever aspire to be. And I think that puts us over and expropriated. So, here. Sure? How are we for time? We're good for time. Okay, this one, this run. Help.
Are those plants?
Another biblical theme, or have we just gotten that like imprinted?
I see those as dry plants. Dry plants.
Yeah, dried plants, tree, with sort of witchy, a little witchy. Huh? Wow. What Marius just said is he can only reach up to heaven because his roots go to hell, which I think puts us right in the middle. I'll do that. Okay, Ron doing some sort of stretching on a
So not wrong.
So not Ron, not taking care of himself. No.
Next to bodybuilder Ron, but a little bit below.
That's really good. Bodybuilder, yeah, here. We go like that.
There is a.
Here is Ron Weasley doing lean with Young Lean. And they could be, I know nothing about Young Lean, actually, help me. Does anybody know anything about Young Lean and think that Ron would be in this situation with him? Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah? Cannon. Ron and Young. Isn't he though? Because Harry Potter is just a,
We are still waiting for the HBO production.
Yeah?
So we will see if
That's of course true. Unless our recitation of our virtues is really genuine. So let's see, we'll do like this. Yeah, okay. I'll do it. We're getting close. Disco King Ron. Having fun? Singing in a microphone. John Travoltron. Ron Travoltron? Ron Travoltron. Singing in a microphone, having fun. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. So, I think this is one of, like, the zero, the one of the base points. Cannon? Yes? Is he a disco guy? I haven't. Who has seen the? Is there deleted scenes? Of course, there's deleted. Okay, over here. Yeah, we'll do that. Shit, I really hope this person is here because I have no idea who this person is. Who is it?
it is from a Norwegian novel.
It's a Norwegian actor. What about him? Can you tell us a little about him?
Well, he has red hair.
They have yes, we can see that. What else?
No, but it's also okay.
No, please.
Like in the movie,
Yeah?
the book, the friend of him is like an anti-capitalist, pro-Palestine kind of guy.
This guy?
Yeah, the other one.
Ron? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you have drawn a scene from a movie.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Yes. So where do we put him? Like, I think you're in charge of this one.
Well, it's not Ron at all.
It's not Ron.
No.
What about expropriated versus canon?
It's expropriated, but like how much?
Would here be fine?
Yeah.
Cool, because there's a free space there.
Amazing.
Okay. What have we left? Was this the last one? The last run? Right, wasn't it?
Oh.
Okay. Wait. Thank you. Okay. Wait. So we need to enter the somber note. So when you go on the internet and when you want to talk to people about now you're educated when you think it is Ron Weasley and why you think it is Ron Weasley when. Because this is not necessarily our opinion for when it is Ron, it is how the canon of Ron is right now. So what I'm going to do, I unfortunately don't have it ready for right now, but I'm building a web forum. It's called chainmail.com. It is up, but it's not, it is functioning actually. You can go there if you want. What I will do is I will start red-toading from there. Because what Chainmail does is it has a forum, it has its own servers, it's off Google and all of that other shit. And it will have a lot of social media accounts and it will try to post these runs as many places as it can. But this measuring tool of Ron, not Ron, expropriated and canon is a really good measuring tool of finding out how far along we are in the process of actually expropriating Ron Weasley away from the grasp of J.K. Rowling. And the most effective runs we can ever post are ones down here. Because J.K. Rowling would never write them, would piss her off, and it's still Ron Weasley. And one last thing, if you want to be credited in the future for these, please go up and write your name on them now. Thank you very much.
Tak for din deltagelse. Vi gør det. Tak for det. Hej. Vi kan godt.